Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Ahlami binti Mansor from Faculty of Business and Management, UiTM Cawangan, Kelantan. Today I am pleased to present my conceptual study on internal governance, state ownership and financial capacity as drivers of ESG performance among FBM KLCI constituents. This paper develops a pure secondary data empirical framework to test the internal ecosystem of corporate governance and financial structural variables. Let's look on the background of the study. Corporate finance has evolved from a single bottom line focus on profit maximization to a multi-stakeholder paradigm emphasizing ESG criteria. Bursa Malaysia has been regional pioneer in sustainable finance with the introduction of the FTSE for Good Bursa Malaysia Index. Large public listed company with market caps above 2 billion must comply with mandatory climate first disclosures aligned with the international financial reporting standards. The implementation of national carbon tax transformed ESG from public relations into a key financial indicator. For the problem statement, despite rigorous disclosure mandates, unexplained variance and divergence persist in the ESG score of FBM KLCI companies. Prior studies failed to explain the internal corporate ecosystem that drive these scores, often relying on subjective survey data. Malaysia's unique market landscape compressed with government-linked investment companies and state-owned enterprise remains unmet. Therefore, the research objectives of this study are: number one, to investigate the relationship between internal governance characteristics, which are board independence and board gender diversity and ESG performance. Research objective number two is to evaluate the impact of financial capacity, which are firm size, profitability, and financial leverage on FBM KLCI ESG performance. And research objective number three is to examine the moderating effect of state ownership on the internal governance and ESG performance within the Malaysian capital market. This study used three theoretical foundations of ESG determinants. Number one, institutional theory. FBM KLCI firms adapt structures to meet institutional pressure, which are coercive pressure, mimetic pressure, and normative pressure. The second theory is legitimacy and resource dependency theory, which is highly visible. Firms expand ESG commitment to retain their social license to operate. Number three, agency theory, which is conflict exists between short-term managerial profit extraction and long-term capital-intensive green initiative. Robust independent oversight and cognitive diversity structurally aligned objective to lift ESG performance. Next, we look on IV number one, which is internal governance determinants. It consists of board independence and board gender diversity. For board independence, independent directors suffer fewer conflict of interest and are highly sensitive to regulatory compliance and public legitimacy. Therefore, hypothesis number one, board independence has a significant positive relationship with ESG performance. Second determinants is board gender diversity. Female directors bring distinct risk sensitivities, ethical considerations, and collaborative communication style, empirically associated with superior social commitment, active community engagement, and environmental conservation. For the Malaysian evidence, highly correlated with higher composite ESG score over multi-year horizon. Thus, hypothesis number two, board gender diversity has a significant positive relationship with ESG performance. Next, we look on the independent variable number two, which is financial capacity. Financial capacity consists of three determinants, which is firm size, profitability, financial leverage. First, firm size. Large firms possess deep financial reserve and dedicated ESG teams. It enables seamless navigation of complex digital reporting frameworks like Bursa's centralized sustainable intelligence platform. Thus, hypothesis number 3, firm size has a significant positive relationship with ESG performance. Secondly is profitability. Sustainable restructuring is highly capital intensive. Only profit-rich organizations can absorb these heavy structural costs without compromising shareholder returns. Therefore, hypothesis number 4 is profitability has a significant positive relationship with ESG performance. Determinant number 3 is financial leverage. Indebted firms face intense monitoring from debt covenants. Obligation push managers to prioritize short-term cash flow for interest service over long-term ESG investment. Thus, hypothesis number five is financial leverage has a negative relationship with ESG performance. Next, we look the state ownership as moderator variables. Substantial equity held by government-linked investment companies and state agencies fundamentally reshape internal governance dynamics in Malaysia. Thus, hypothesis number 6 is state ownership significantly moderates the positive relationship between board independence and ESG performance, while hypothesis number 7 is state ownership significantly moderates the positive relationship between both the gender diversity and ESG performance. Next, we move to the proposed conceptual framework, which are internal governance and financial capacity is the independent variables in this study, and the dependent variable is its ESG performance, while the state ownership is the moderating variables between internal governance and ESG performance. This is the model specification of panel regression and its variables. And lastly, for the conclusion, this study established a framework to investigate the internal and external determinants of ESG performance. This framework demonstrates the structural outcome of robust internal governance oversight, adequate financial flexibility, and strategic alignment with the state institutional ownership. This study bridged a key gap to track empirical drivers of rating trends rather than focusing solely on downstream financial consequences. That's all from me. Thank you.